But still this man compared to nobody. Yesterday I prayed to the flowers and treated for...
Calma. Let's lock in, guys. Listen, I'll be the first to admit it. No one likes discipline. It's fucking boring. It's hard to do. You can't be consistent with discipline only, okay? I'm very much in the motivation camp, however gay it might be. Early on in life, I noticed if I can just get my motivation up, there will be no reason to learn how to be disciplined or any of that bullshit. So that led me down many podcasts and books and everything I could get my hand on when it came to what human motivation even meant in the first place. And had I realized this shit a bit earlier, I would have made much more progress. So listen, I know you're already on the edge of your seats waiting for me to give you the source on how to be illegally motivated. Pause on that though. And don't worry, I'm going to give it to you. Pause again. But I really need you to lock in onto my words right now because they might just change your life. First of all, I need you to understand that there is no good or bad energy. A lot of people, a lot of mentors, they're up on their high horse, they're doing what works for them now. They're going to be telling you the shit that they're doing right now. Disregarding where you are currently in your stage, whether it's being a professional football athlete, whether it's becoming a musician, whether it's becoming an entrepreneur, they're going to give you the advice that, oh, you should do it for yourself and you should do it out of a good place, from good energy. You shouldn't want to impress other people when it's entirely false. This narrative of good energy doesn't exist. The reason is because at a fundamental base level, just on first principles, I'm not even going to make this a debate because I'm just going to explain it as it is. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to ask you the questions. What is an emotion? If we really ask ourselves, what's a positive or a negative emotion? You're probably going to answer something like, well, it's a signal. It's making me feel a type of way. Okay, why is it making you feel a type of way? Well, it wants to make you act a certain way. So usually with negative emotion, it wants to invoke a type of action from you. So for example, if you feel fear because you encounter a lion, you're probably going to be told to get the fuck away as soon as possible because you want to stay alive. If you feel lonely, for example, you're going to feel a very strong impulse to connect with other people. Now, unfortunately, nowadays we use our phones and we just scroll to get this fake sense of a connection to people which doesn't even exist, which is a whole other topic, but I'm not going to get into it for this video. The point is that emotions are signals, and especially negative emotions will teach you that, hey, we're in a state where we don't want to be, so let's move and let's put action in and change that. And the reason good energy doesn't work is because if you're in a state where you're happy and you're feeling a positive emotion, what's your mind going to be telling you? It's going to be saying, oh, we're feeling bliss, we're feeling joy, we're feeling happiness. Stay here. Do nothing. And if you're here, don't get me wrong, this is perfect. You don't want to move. You want to be happy, right? The thing is, if you're kind of fucked up like me, which you probably are if you're watching this video, your brain doesn't work like this. When you're sitting at a party, you're thinking about how to scale your business. When you're having a cheat meal with your friends, you're thinking about your athletic career, okay? This is what you're fucking thinking about. Now, is it good? I don't know. Is it bad? Again, I don't fucking know. It's just the way you are. You just have to accept it. You have to accept that you feel a feeling which causes you to be unhappy and is actually pushing you to act a certain way. The problem, please lock in onto this and actually take your notes out if you really need to write something down here, is this motherfucker. This motherfucker, a lot of people like this guy on the internet will tell you that you need to be like them and do it out of a good place. Do it for love. Do it because you want to. Because they think that this is, toxic and whatnot. When it's just the way you fucking are. So listen, I'll give you the blessing. This might be a bit illegal. A lot of people might harp on me and to tell me that I'm fucking wrong for this. But I wholeheartedly believe that leaning into this, bad energy, which actually pushes you away from the current negative situation you're in, is a blessing. And you already know what this is for you, okay? I'm not even gonna tell you a fucking framework on how to find out because you already know, truth be told. You have that picture. When you look at it, it riles you the fuck up. It could be of a person, it could be of your bully, it could be of your crush, it could even be of your parents, to be honest. Or maybe even of a car or, a living destination, a city where you want to move to. Whatever the case may be for you, you know what it is. You've just been suppressing it in yourself. You've just been telling yourself, oh no, I should do it for myself. Bitch, you are doing it for yourself because you want to. People like this who's going to tell you what to do and try to police your actions and become this fucking social justice warrior and morally judge you just because you're doing something different to what they want, It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Again, you're not doing this because you're better. You're not working that hard because you're better than these people around you. This guy, if he's actually happy as he is, which if he wouldn't be, he would also be acting, he's the fucking winner here, okay? Don't fucking police him on what he should do. The only reason you're gonna be pushing towards your goals and putting in massive action is because you want to, okay? And that's very important. So wholeheartedly focus on that thing for you, okay? That one thing which fucking riles you up. The caveat I would add to this is if you're in this state of negative energy, constantly wanting more, always having a problem and acting because you have that problem, you're never going to be at 100%. And that's fine. This is going to be you, your X, and you're always below 100%, and that's totally fine, especially in the beginning of your journey. There's going to be a stage where you're actually going to be wanting to transition into the second part, which is going to be self-actualization. This you cannot start with. You can only actually self-actualize and come out of truly a place of love and a higher frequency once you've got all of these things nailed. This is Maslow's hierarchy. You've probably actually heard of this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This pretty much entails that once you've gotten these taken care of, such as food, water, warmth, rest, your physiological needs, then safety, then your relationships, and then your kind of internal feelings, only then can you move on to self-actualization, and only then can you be truly fulfilled. If you think about it in this situation, you're acting always chasing something, you're always wanting to get out of a situation for something that you're not feeling. Imagine if you actually had everything, you were feeling 100% correct all the time, you didn't feel any lack, any guilt, any shame, or anything like that. You were always satiated, you had the best food, the best water, the best friends, the best girlfriend, or whatever spouse, and you had all of this shit dialed, okay? You had 24 hours in a day and you chose literally whatever you wanted to do. That is when your best work would occur, because now 100% of your motivation is intrinsic. You literally do everything that you want to do and nothing that you don't. This is when you're going to be 100% at your creative potential. This is when you're going to be behaving in alignment. This is going to be when you're getting into flow states on command. This is the thing to aim for, don't get me wrong. The thing I'm trying to say here is that if you're starting out, it's foolish to aim for this, okay? The reason it's foolish is because if you're living paycheck to paycheck, of course you're going to be worried about this shit. Of course you're going to be stressed. Of course you're going to be craving this. Of course you're going to be neglecting your relationships. It's foolish to try to be at the top when your whole foundation is about to collapse. And I'm here to tell you that that's fine. This isn't going to be your life forever. If you just lock in and if you listen to these negative emotions and look at that picture of that thing that gets you riled the fuck up, you're gonna be fine. The problem is when you do what I used to do, when you listen to this guy who's telling you, oh, you should come out of a good place, because he's already been doing this for 15 years and now he realized that emotional management actually works and it actually helps a lot. If you listen to him and you try to, get into spirituality and emotional management and all that, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, spoiler alert, it's not going to work. You can meditate 2 hours a day, but the thing is, if you're hungry, if your brain is constantly getting pain signals, literally, you're not going to be able to override it. And that's why I say maybe only after you've gotten your relationships, your money, and all that dialed can you focus on 100%, okay, working on your mission now, having a mission statement for your company, actually making foundations where you come from once you become one of the best football players in the world. Whatever your mission may be, right? But acting like, you're 100% aligned and work isn't that important, and you should try to disregard your negative feelings and act out of 100% the positive place. And even in manifestation, people tend to delude themselves that, oh, if I act like I'm 100% in a happy place right now, I will be. Sure, in some aspects there's something to that, but if we ignore emotions, spoiler alert, they're just going to become magnified, okay? Whatever you resist persists. So the TLDR of this video is really, I spent a lot of time going from, oh, I need to operate out of good space, okay, fuck it, we're going to, grind, fuck it, we bowl, oh, no, okay, we're going to be a pussy again, and then I went from this, blah, 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 I went over and over and over. I spent 2 months, trying to get into this kind of weak-ass mindset, then I went super hard on things, and then I just kept switching around. When if I just tunneled in on actually, getting away from that space that I was in, which wasn't a nice space to be in, if I just tunneled in on actually achieving my goals, putting relentless amounts of effort in, beating everyone in my craft, I would have gotten to this stage much earlier than I actually did. Right now I'm focusing on actually meditating like literally over an hour a day. I'm actually focusing on feeling my feelings and achieving better relationships, because then in my basic state of mind I make better decisions, I'm more focused, I'm more present, etc., etc. But I'm never gonna give you this advice if you're at the beginning of your journey. If you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder, it would be foolish, because you have better things to focus on. Just get out of that fucking state which is constantly bringing you negative energy. That's what you have to focus on, none of this fucking woke bullshit that I'm on. So lock in and understand that it's fine to be feeling negative emotions. You don't have to be happy all the time, and that's okay. Once you do reach a level where you think that you now have the time and money and you're not constantly constrained by these lower levels of the hierarchy, and you can focus on them and actually fulfilling them, then you can step into a more self-actualized version of yourself.